The child abuse issue, you know, as a children's rights advocate, I get really nervous when we talk about subjecting our kids to anything that could harm them and particularly could have long-term impact on them neurologically. So I applaud the doctor for raising that issue and at least letting parents know you are taking a huge risk if you put your child.
But in fairness, the one thing I will say, and this is coming from the ER doc's perspective, every time I do see a kid out skateboarding without a helmet, I have seen a lot of concussions in kids from riding their bikes. So there are a lot of sports out there where we need to continue to raise awareness. And what's also ironic is football is incredibly popular. I can openly say that although I didn't play it growing up, it has become my favorite sport. It's a wonderful sport, although acknowledging now the dangers of it. My question is, where do you draw the line here? Because I can't appreciate your perspective enough, Dr. Omalu. Your belief in these 6 sports and maybe eliminating them for kids, I understand that perspective. But from an attorney's perspective, from a mother's perspective, where do you draw the line? Do you just sit there and say, okay, well, playing soccer, even though there's headers, and we know that can lead to these mini concussions, but that's safe enough. This is not safe enough. Do you literally draw a line in the sand and say these sports are safe enough, these aren't?
Well, I think there could be an argument that some sports kids just shouldn't play. I mean, some sports could be so dangerous and the risk so great that we as a society should say, if you subject your child to that sport, you are indeed engaging in child abuse. Just like we say, you can't allow your child to ride in your car without a car seat, right? So the state steps in to protect children in lots of situations. So sports shouldn't be any different. Are we in a day and age, as the research continues to mount, where, and Cal, you may as a former player have a perspective on this, where we move towards flag football for youth, where literally, like Dr. Omalu suggests, kids aren't playing contact football in the traditional sense until they get to college and are of 18 years of age?
100%. I didn't play football until I was a senior in high school. I wrestled, I played baseball, I skateboarded and surfed, all these other things, and prided myself on being an athlete. And when I stepped on a football field, I felt I was ready. I didn't stay off the football field because of concussions. We didn't know anything about those. Dr. Omalu hadn't, I think, stepped foot in America at that point. And, you know, unfortunately, I saw broken arms and blown out knees and paralyzations and all these things. So I knew it was dangerous enough. So we have to accept these inherencies that are in these sports and that they're not just going to go away. And so we really have to start being proactive
and to your
on
point,
protocol
Kyle,
changes
too.
and treatments given.
And to that point, Kyle, I think no matter what the age, there are some things that we can do to educate parents who are going to put their children and their young adult children in some more risky situations. For example, I was wondering, in some of the teams that you've coached, do they do preseason and postseason neurocognitive testing just to see the impact? You know, that's something that's really valuable, because if you see that there's some damage by the end of the season, it's still not too late to pull them for cognitive rehabilitation.
Parents need to know that the head protection is as good as it gets. They need to know that there's somebody in the sideline, even in this pee-wee level, that if somebody suffers some type of head injury, that they're being evaluated. And if there's any issues, boom, you're kept out so you don't have multiples very close.
And I will say this, if you are a parent and your child wants to play football and you decide to let them play football, make sure their coach is someone like Kyle, who appreciates the risks associated with potential head trauma. And I think that you also have plenty of evidence on your side, like Dr. Omalu suggests, to say, you know what, we're gonna play non-contact sports until you're old enough, until you're 18. There's so much more yet to learn on this. I wanna thank both of you for advancing this conversation.